Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. Love has this funny way of sneaking up on you. Sometimes you don't even realize when somebody's heart is already yours. You're just living your life, doing what you do, and meanwhile, somebody out there is smiling, changing, and even reshaping their whole day because of you. That's when you've stolen somebody's heart without even knowing it. You know what people often miss about love? They think it's all about the grand gestures, the big surprises, the kind of movie moments where somebody shows up with roses and balloons, or they pull off some dramatic scene in front of a crowd. But the truth is, love is hidden in the small, consistent actions that most people overlook. The real proof that you've stolen someone's heart without even realizing it is when their little habits start shaping around you. It's not loud, it's not showy, but it's steady. And that steady care is more powerful than any fireworks display. When somebody cares for you deeply, they don't just wait for Valentine's Day to show it. They think of you in the most ordinary, everyday moments. They text you when they know you've got a long day just to say, "You got this." They remember you don't like your coffee too sweet, so they fix it the way you like it without even asking. They notice when you're tired and adjust, maybe by taking on something small to make your day easier. It doesn't look like much to an outsider, but if you really pay attention, it's everything. Those small gestures mean their heart is already tied to yours. They're not performing. They're not trying to impress. They're simply loving you in the simplest way they know how. It's in the way they check that you got home safe, the way they remind you to bring a jacket because it might get cold, or the way they laugh at your jokes even when they don't make sense to anyone else. These are not random habits. These are intentional, consistent signs of affection. Think about it. Anybody can buy a gift or say the right words once in a while. That doesn't take much, but to show up over and over again in small ways to make your life lighter and your world brighter every single day, that takes something deeper. That's love in action. That's someone whose heart belongs to you, whether they've said it out loud or not. What makes it even sweeter is that you might not notice right away. You might just think they're being kind, being polite, or just doing what anybody would do. But if you look closer, you'll see the pattern. You'll see the thought behind it. You'll feel the comfort of knowing that someone is out there, day in and day out, thinking of you. And that consistency, that's where love proves itself. Love doesn't always walk in the room screaming its name. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it shows up in the form of a cup of coffee made right, or a message that says, "Call me when you're done. I just want to hear your voice." It's in the care that doesn't take a break, the attention that doesn't fade when life gets busy, and the effort that doesn't stop when things aren't convenient. That's how you know someone's heart is already yours. You didn't ask for it, but they gave it anyway, piece by piece, moment by moment. And let me tell you, the sweetest love isn't the one that knocks you off your feet all at once. It's the one that quietly builds brick by brick with those small and steady actions. By the time you realize it, you're already standing in the middle of something unshakable. That's the power of the little things, because when someone's heart is yours, they don't just tell you, they show you over and over in 100 quiet ways. You ever notice how the people who really love you don't just hear you, they listen? There's a difference. A lot of folks will nod their head while you're talking, give you a polite ha, and keep it moving. But when somebody's heart belongs to you, they don't just let your words pass by, they store them. They pay attention to things you didn't even realize you said. And that's when you know you've stolen their heart, because they remember the little details that everybody else forgets. See, anybody can remember your birthday because Facebook sends them a reminder. Anybody can pick up on the obvious stuff like your favorite color if you wear it all the time. But when somebody loves you, they lock in on the details that you didn't even think mattered. You might casually mention your favorite childhood candy, and weeks later, there it is waiting for you. You might talk about a dream you had of visiting some place one day, and suddenly they're the ones sending you travel ideas or saving up to take you there. That's love paying attention in the background, catching the little things that most people let slide. It's not about material things either. Sometimes it's emotional details. You tell them about a tough time you went through, something from years ago, and even though you thought it was just a passing conversation, they hold on to it. Later, when you're having a bad day, they bring it up, not to remind you of pain, but to let you know they see your strength, they understand your journey, they honor what you've been through. That's somebody who's not just listening with their ears, but listening with their heart. The beauty of it is that remembering details is an act of love without needing to say the word love. They don't have to announce it because they're showing it. Think about how powerful that is. Out of all the noise in their world, out of everything they've got going on, they choose to hold on to something you said in a quiet moment. That's how you know you matter to them. That's how you know you've taken up space in their heart and in their mind. And the truth is, this doesn't happen by accident. People forget what doesn't mean much to them. That's just human nature. But when someone holds on to the details of your life, it's because you've already become important to them. It's because their mind keeps circling back to you even when you're not around. That's not just attraction, that's love settling in quietly. You may not even realize it at first. You might laugh it off when they bring up something you said months ago, but that consistency is where the sweetness lies. That's when you recognize that your words didn't just go into thin air. They landed in somebody's heart and they stayed there. That's when you know you've stolen their heart without even trying. One of the clearest ways you can tell that you've stolen somebody's heart without even knowing it is when they start putting your happiness above their own. Now let me explain something. People don't just do that casually. Most of the time, folks are naturally focused on themselves, what they need, what they want, how they feel. But when somebody truly cares about you, suddenly your smile means more to them than their own comfort. That's love moving in silence, showing itself in ways you might not even catch at first. Think about it. When somebody puts your happiness first, they'll go out of their way just to make sure you're good. They'll cancel plans, they'll shift schedules, they'll make sacrifices that might not even benefit them. But they'll do it anyway because it benefits you. They're not doing it because they expect something back. They're doing it because seeing you happy makes them happy. And that's not just affection. That's when their heart belongs to you. Sometimes it's as simple as them picking a restaurant they don't really like because they know it's your favorite spot. Or maybe they sit through a movie they'd never watch on their own. But they do it because they want to share that time with you. Other times it's bigger than that. They'll support your dreams even when it means they have to adjust their own. They'll encourage you to chase opportunities even if it means you're busier and they get less of your time. That's not surface level interest, that's deep care. That's a sign that you've touched their heart in a way you might not realize. The truth is happiness is contagious. When someone is in love, they feed off your joy. Your laughter fills them up. Your peace becomes their peace. Your victories feel like their own. That's why they're so invested in how you're doing, because their emotional world is tied up with yours. If you're sad, they feel it. If you're celebrating, they're right there cheering louder than anyone else. You don't have to ask for that. They give it freely because their heart is already in your hands. And you know what makes it powerful? It's consistent. Anybody can act sweet for a week, maybe a month, but when someone truly loves you, their efforts don't fade. Over time, you'll see it's not a performance, it's a way of life. They just naturally start thinking about you in every decision, considering how things will affect you before they even think about themselves. That's when you know it's real. You might not notice it immediately because it doesn't come with a big announcement. It's not like they stand up and declare, "I'm putting you first now." No, it's quieter than that. It's in the choices they make every day, the little adjustments, the ways they show up when you need them most. That's the language of love most people miss, but it's the strongest language of all. When someone puts your happiness above theirs, that's when you can be sure their heart is yours. Not because they said the right words, not because they promise forever, but because their actions prove it without needing to be explained. That's when you know you've stolen someone's heart in the sweetest way, without even trying. You can always tell when somebody has given you their heart by the way they let their guard down with you. Most people walk around with a shield up. They smile, they laugh, they keep conversations light, but deep down they don't let too many people see the real version of themselves. They've been through things, they've been hurt, they've been disappointed, and because of that, they protect their emotions like treasure. But when they feel safe with you, when they trust you, when their heart already belongs to you, that shield starts to fall, and you see a side of them that nobody else gets to see. That's emotional vulnerability, and that's one of the sweetest signs you've stolen someone's heart without realizing it. It doesn't show up all at once. At first, it might be little things. They tell you about a fear they've always kept hidden. They admit they're nervous about failing at something. They share a childhood memory that shaped them, something they don't tell just anybody. And as time goes on, those small openings become deeper conversations. You'll notice they start trusting you with their dreams, their insecurities, even their doubts. That's not casual. People don't hand that kind of honesty out for free. That's what happens when somebody has decided you're worth the risk of being real. Vulnerability is scary because it means exposing parts of yourself that could be judged, rejected, or misunderstood. But when somebody loves you, that fear gets outweighed by the need to connect with you on a deeper level. They'd rather risk being misunderstood than keep a wall between the two of you. That's how you know they've already given you their heart. Because if they didn't love you, they wouldn't bother. They'd keep it light, keep it surface level, keep it safe. Love doesn't play it safe. It takes courage, and that courage shows up in vulnerability. One of the most powerful signs of this is when someone shares their pain with you. They let you see the parts of their life that weren't perfect, the times they struggled, the wounds they carry. And instead of trying to look flawless, they let you see the cracks. That's not weakness. That's a gift. That's their way of saying, I trust you not to use this against me. And trust is love in action. It's not just about the heavy stuff either. Vulnerability also shows up in the softest ways. When somebody lets you see how much they miss you, or when they admit how much they need you, that's vulnerability. When they let you see them cry, when they let you know they're scared, when they tell you they don't have it all figured out, that's real. That's the unfiltered version of them, the version they don't give to the world. And if you're seeing that version, it's because you already hold a place in their heart. So when you notice someone opening up in ways that surprise you, don't take it lightly. That's not just conversation, that's connection. That's proof that their guard is down because you've already captured their heart, even if you didn't mean to. Vulnerability is love's way of saying, I trust you with my truth. And when somebody trusts you with their truth, they've already given you something priceless, their heart. One of the clearest ways to know that someone's heart already belongs to you is when they're willing to sacrifice and compromise for your sake. Now, sacrifice doesn't always mean something dramatic like giving up a career or moving across the world. Sometimes it's smaller, quieter choices that reveal where their priorities are. The truth is, people don't give up their comfort, their time, or their plans unless they care deeply. When you see someone consistently bending, adjusting, or choosing your needs over their own, you're looking at a heart that's already in your hands. Think about the way most people move in life. Everybody wants what works best for them. It's natural. We want to eat at the place we like, watch the shows we enjoy, follow schedules that fit us. But when someone loves you, suddenly your preferences matter just as much, if not more, than theirs. They'll eat food they don't love just because it makes you smile. They'll sit through a long event that doesn't interest them just because being by your side means more than being entertained. That's not convenience, that's sacrifice. And love is the only thing strong enough to make people do it without complaining. Compromise is just as powerful. It's two people finding a middle ground, but when someone's heart belongs to you, they're often willing to bend more than halfway. They're willing to meet you where you are, even if it means they give up more. That's not weakness, that's devotion. Because love teaches you that winning the relationship is more important than winning the argument. It teaches you that peace between you two matters more than being right. And sometimes the sacrifices are bigger. Maybe they turn down opportunities because it would take them away from you too long. Maybe they spend money they were saving for themselves just to do something special for you. Maybe they give up certain habits or even friendships because they want to protect the bond they have with you. Those are not small decisions. Those are signs of somebody who values you more than the things they let go. That's love in its purest form, choosing you again and again, even when it costs them something. The sweetest part is, they don't advertise it. They don't stand on a stage and say, look at what I gave up for you. No, they do it quietly without needing recognition because in their heart, your happiness and your presence are worth more than whatever they had to let go of. That's when you know you've stolen their heart because they're not even keeping score. They're not counting how much they've given versus how much they've gotten back. They're just giving because loving you feels like winning. The truth is, sacrifice and compromise are not easy. They require humility, patience, and a whole lot of care. But when you see someone making those adjustments for you consistently, that's not random. That's love. That's someone whose heart is already yours, even if they haven't said it out loud yet, because only love can make a person willingly put aside what's best for them, just to make sure they don't lose what they found in you. You can always tell the difference between someone who talks about love and someone who truly feels it. Words are easy. Anybody can say they care. Anybody can say they'll be there. Anybody can promise forever. But words without actions are just noise. When somebody's heart belongs to you, their actions will speak so loudly, you won't even need their words to confirm it. You'll see love in the way they move, in the way they show up, in the way they consistently prove that you matter to them. It's in the everyday choices. They don't just say they'll call, they actually pick up the phone. They don't just say they'll be there for you. They show up when you need them most, even if it's inconvenient, even if it's late, even if it costs them something. You don't have to chase them for attention because their actions already make it clear where their heart is. And the truth is, love that's real doesn't need to be constantly explained. It's visible in the consistency of what they do. Think about the way someone protects you without even being asked. They make sure you're safe. They check on you. They defend you when you're not around. They make your problems their problems, not because they have to, but because they want to. That's action speaking louder than 1,000 I love yous, because words are temporary, but effort leaves a mark. And it's not always big, dramatic actions. Sometimes it's the simple, quiet gestures that reveal the most. Picking up something from the store because they remembered you needed it. Taking care of something before you even had to ask. Giving you their full attention in a world where everybody's distracted. Those little actions pile up until you can't deny what they mean. They're telling you without saying it, you matter to me more than anything else. Love also shows itself in consistency. Anybody can be good for a week. Anybody can be sweet when they're trying to impress you. But when someone's heart belongs to you, they don't stop after the first chapter. Their actions keep proving it day after day. They don't disappear when things get tough. They don't back down when life gets messy. And they don't stop showing up just because it isn't easy anymore. That's when you know love is real, when actions don't quit even when circumstances change. One of the clearest signs is when they start doing things for you that don't benefit them at all. They're not looking for praise. They're not expecting payback. They're just serving you out of pure care. That's the loudest love of all. Because at the end of the day, words can be doubted, but actions can't. You can argue with what somebody says, but you can't argue with how they show up. So when you're wondering if someone's heart is already yours, don't just listen to what they say. Watch what they do. If their actions keep proving that you're their priority, if their consistency never wavers, if their effort keeps showing up in the smallest and biggest ways, then you don't need any extra confirmation. Their heart is already yours, and their actions are shouting it louder than words ever could.